Alright, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and sisters out there. Out there is like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. It's going to be a quick show through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. I don't want any brothers to be edified. I'm going to let this play a little bit. I'm going to bring out the scriptures. I've seen it. And I see Apostle already touched it. But, hey. Might as well touch it too, because it's hit close to home. Actually, literally, this is my father's and my mother's homeland. All right, this is where Levi dwells in that land, and there's a lot of things that's going on, man. There's a lot of things that's going. Matter of fact, let me start with this scripture before I let this thing play, because everything prophecy is being played out. It's fulfilling. Right now, 2 Ezra 9 and 2:1. Sorry. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same thing. Sorry, it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and the uproars of the people in the world. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai left a blueprint of things to come, of his visitation on the planet Earth. Alright. With all these things is happening, how can you believe that when the Son of the Lord comes back, he's coming back to hand out roses, gives hugs to everyone? That's impossible. Tension is at an all-time high. And after watching this news clip, which the guy did perfectly, the political power, they even tell you who's involved of this political turmoil that's going on in the island Hispaniola, on that other side of the island, which is Haiti. All right, they're telling you what's going on. So there's a lot of things that I haven't watched CNN on this, but once again, you watch the alternative news, you get the more truth of the matter. So here we go. Let's let this guy say what he got to say. And I find this guy's more credible than any other people too, because he be doing his thing. Him and that woman. Let this thing play.
We're continuing to follow the violence in Haiti. Violence erupting in Haiti as U.S. military heavy vehicles are being used to attack the fuel blockade. Was being held by opposition leaders. Those opposition leaders keeping the fuel, of course, from U.S.-backed puppet government and the elites in Haiti. We understand there is heavy fighting that has been unfolding over the past few hours, with a lot of people dead. We want to go to Dan Cohen, who is reporting for Redacted.
Which I must say, it makes sense. Why would the guy, I believe his name is the leader of barbecue, which means barbecue, because he barbecues his enemy. But why would they just so happen to take the fuel from the people? And this news guy is gonna explain it. There's a lot of things, man. A lot of things is coming clearer and clearer with these government backed up systems. These U.S. backed up governments, and this false narrative that they will show the world of all this turmoil that's just happening because men with power or men that have guns are trying to overthrow a government which is already overthrown, because of the simple fact is the former president of Haiti, which he wasn't a saint, he wasn't the greatest, all right, but his main thing that got him taken out, believe it or not, other than the corruption business, is that he didn't want to give the people the you know what. So they clipped his ass. And ever since, well, I can't say ever since then, there's been always been turmoil in Haiti. Even my own father, he won't even go down there. And I always tell brothers, man, my father, when he's down there, he's like, I see him with my own eyes. The man is like, he's a king. All right, he has a lot of respect in the streets, cops, gangsters, whatever. But he don't even want to go down there. It's too much turmoil. And this turmoil didn't start in the early 2000s and 1990s. This is going on for a long time. All right, this thing is kind of long, so I'm gonna let this thing play out a little bit.
He is live in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, with the very latest. Dan, what can you tell us? What is the situation at the fuel blockade at this hour?
Well, Clayton, the fighting has subsided now. The fuel blockade is opened. It's over. The Varo gas terminal is opened after weeks of fighting between the Haitian National Police and the revolutionary forces of the G9 family and allies, led by Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier. There was heavy fighting in which about
Barbecue Cherizier. Oh boy, man. Hey, that's how revolution start, man. That's how revolution start. And he's not, when you hear the man speak, well, when you read what he speaks, you will understand the anger that he has. All right?
According to Cherizier, 40 people were killed. It's unclear if all of those people were soldiers from the FRG-9 or if any of those were civilians who were, casualties caught up in the crossfire. But the blockade after 8 weeks has been lifted, and Jimmy Cherizier has said that the blockade, that they're going to allow gas to flow.
So the gas will now flow back to the very people they wanted to keep it from, I suppose, right? Because it's not going to the poor people of Haiti who can't afford to get any of this gasoline.
Exactly, and this is one of the points that Cherizier has made is, well, let's see, now that the gas is flowing again, if things return to normal, because of course the mass uprising protests that we saw were a response to the fuel price hikes that were imposed by the International Monetary Fund and the government of U.S. de facto Prime Minister Ariel Henry. So,
ding dong, they said it. The IMF, the U.S., the UN has purposely raised gas prices all over the world, and mainly a poor country like this, and only people that can afford it was the people that were juiced in. And what did the guy do? Cut it off for them. He cut it off. So then, all of a sudden, now, the Haitian people, I gotta say like that, they are Levites, but right now they're just Haitian people. They have been suffering for decades. Decades. The U.S. never stepped foot into it as far as to come and take it down. All right. They had, for the earthquake and some other time, one guy's gonna say 3 times, I just can't remember. But when the people that's juiced in with the U.S. is harmed or seemingly to be harmed, all of a sudden they want to get involved. So this is corruption at the highest level. All right, and the world's seeing who you really are, Babylon the Great. The world is seeing who the fuck you really are. All right, and this is why the world, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, they're gonna nuke this godforsaken place. Because this is nothing but total corruption. Here it is, people that lives in the islands that have riches, natural, great resources, where you believe that these places with all these natural resources would get the people out of poverty. But the people that have all these natural resources are suffering from poverty, man. This shit makes no goddamn sense. This shit makes no fucking sense at all, man. Why the fuck are these people all over that have all these natural resources? Sugar, prime example. Sugar was one of the major things that came from that island. Then you have places like Domino, all right, refined sugar with the ticket from the sugar cane and bleach it and so forth. A multi-trillion-dollar industry that their main course where they got it from was from that island. And yet the people suffer the way they suffering. And that goes to all the islands, man. Okay? All of them. From Trinidad to Tobago, to Guyana, to Jamaica, Puerto Rico. It makes no sense why these people are poor. But it's nothing but corruption all over. This man's a corrupt devil, man.
Ariel Henry. So Cherizier's point was basically, well, let's see what happens now. You know, will schools reopen? Will life get back to normal? And it seems not, because still most people cannot afford gas. There are still numerous blockades. You know, I saw this morning there are still numerous blockades all over the poor neighborhoods of Port-au-Prince. So you know, I don't see things exactly returning to so-called normal here in Port-au-Prince.
One of the things that's not normal in most countries, well, I shouldn't say that because it happens in a lot of countries, U.S. involvement, U.S. heavy weapons, U.S. military showing up, and that has certainly been the case in Haiti. You've witnessed a number of the U.S. armored vehicles. They continue to arrive. What can you tell me about the U.S. boots on the ground and U.S. military vehicles that are being used by the police against Jimmy Cherizier?
You're the guy with the gun.
Even the common folk will understand the concept of how these guys got the guns to do the things that they're doing. All right, who's paying Barbecue, or who's giving him the guns to get this thing going? So there's a lot.
A person who would do anything to protect the ones you love. But did you know you could go to
the armored vehicles that the United
There's a lot of things that goes on where it makes absolutely no sense. The way these uprisings just pop up out of nowhere. All right? Because they wanted a full-blown invasion. And that's the end goal, so they could control the natural resources that island has. That's what they're doing this for. All right? It's not that the people are incompetent of running their own system. There's too many outside interference to that.
United States and Canada delivered over the past couple weeks to Haiti for the express purpose of defeating this or overcoming this blockade on the fuel terminal are all over the place. If you just drive through the city streets near the fuel terminal, near the airport, you see them, these massive, enormous armored vehicles with heavy armor, and one of them in the fighting between the Haitian National Police and the FRG-9 was put out of commission, damaged to the point where it couldn't be driven. There's a video of the one of these vehicles being pushed by a bulldozer. So the Haitian National Police, clearly took some kind of heavy damage in the fighting.
Jimmy Cherizier also holding a press conference talking about this fuel blockade, and you actually had a chance to sit down with him. Can you tell us what he was talking about at the press conference, and then when you had that one-on-one discussion with him?
The U.S.-backed media will never do. They will never get you from the other side. Why are you doing what the things you're doing? And this is what the guy says, and he's gonna let it play out.
And something of a misinformation or even disinformation campaign surrounding the events that led up to the removal of the blockade on the gas terminal. There's an article in CNN that cited an interview with a figure named Harrison Ernest, who was a confidant of Cherizier, and negotiated without permission, apparently, on behalf of the FRG9 with the government of Ariel Henry. And so the CNN article implies that these negotiations were what led to the removal of the blockade. But in a press conference on Sunday morning, Cherizier refuted these claims.
Nous, force révolutionnaire, Genève en famille et alliés, main tout. Nous pas jamais négocier. Niveau quiconque moun al négocier avec Ariel Henry. Nous prenons décision ça entre nous, la force révolutionnaire, Genève en famille et alliés, main tout, pour permettre gaz la sortie. Et nous voulons pour le peuple la connaître. Ce n'est pas une décision que nous prenons parce que nous négocions quoi que ce soit avec Ariel Henry.
Following that press conference, I had a chance to sit down with Jimmy Cherizier, known as Barbecue, and ask him what he thinks about a potential U.S. invasion of Haiti, and also for his response to UN and U.S. sanctions against him. Take a listen to what he said.
That was another thing that kind of bugged me out. They said U.S. sanction against him. He's just supposedly, he's not. I guess all of a sudden he's a threat to them. All right, do they not sanction heads of states and so forth? So this man right now, he's a problem to them. All right, he's a problem. Don't be so shocked because they try to assassinate this guy, because this guy's trying to change something for his country. I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm just saying in general. All right,
I'm sitting down here with Jim.
The world's starting to see. It's starting to call the bull. All right.
Barbecue Cherizier, leader of the Revolutionary Forces of the G9 family and allies, who has been sanctioned by the United States, the United Nations, and top figures in the United States government have said that he is the target of a possible U.S. invasion. So, Jimmy...
He's the target. He's the target. All right? He's the target. He's the problem. All of a sudden, he's the fucking problem that's going on in Haiti? This shit is fucking crazy, man. You see, it's all about, the media is straight witchcraft. It's never about what's going on with the people. They'll show you how the Haitian people eat mud cakes, how the Haitian people live terribly, but there was no resolution to that problem. So now somebody says, you know what? I'm gonna try to do a change for my people. That's the problem. Just wow, can you believe that?
How do you respond to this situation that the U.S. essentially wants to take you out?
Nous-mêmes, en Haïti, Haïti son pays qui est indépendant depuis 1804. Son terre liberté. Et des salines te goumé pour te ba nous terre ça pour nous te libre. Mais dommage, année après année, moun qui vient faire politique yo, n'a fait mauvais politique, yo détruit pays. Yo détruit pays.
And that's democracy. So what he said, people after Dessalines, all right, years after years, the country was being destroyed. All right, it has not gotten better. And he's going to talk about outside foreigners that interfere in the country's growth. Here it is, you have Haitians that's fleeing the country, going to Dominican Republic, knowing how they treat them there. That's supposed to be their brother. They treat them like shit. Then you have Haitians going that as soon as, if they get into a boat to come to Miami, they get shooed out. So, but Ukraine and all these other countries, they come in open arms. But the Haitians is a fucking problem, right? See, this is why, this is always an argument in a job site of somebody will come up, mostly Benjamin, but you dealing in a job site, construction, you work with a lot of individuals, and everybody swear top and bottom the foreigners that this is the greatest place in the world. And sometimes you gotta be real with them. The only reason why your home country is fucked up is because the interference of the U.S. mainly the U.S. Democracy. All right, democracy is a fucking poison. Has poisoned all these systems. I don't even think there was one good president in that place. All right, not one. That means what? The people voted that one good president every time is always a miss. Poverty never changed for them. But let me let this.
Ya yo vin ren pays ya vin sous dépendance série de l'autre pays, spécialement les États-Unis. Et
There you go. He said the country is so destroyed that it is depending on other countries, outsiders, to help the country, but it's not even helping them. After 2008, that earthquake, that country it was never the same. I remember the time I went, what was it, 2001? I think I went, 2003. I went, my father and everything like that. And that's the year that it was, what was it, 04? I think it was 04. Yeah, 04. And they had that 100-year anniversary of independence. And even then, it was fucking crazy. So something is not adding up. Okay? How can somebody come and fix a problem when they have always brought the problem? They are the problem. Once again, democracy at its finest works. But he's going to say some more stuff.
nous-mêmes, en Haïti, nous juste connaissons Haïti son terre liberté liée. Et nous juste connaissons que Dessalines t'es toujours dit pour nous goumer jusqu'à dernier goutte sans nous pour nous pas jamais retourner dans l'esclavage.
And that's the rebellious spirit that they can't listen, man. I know my tribe, and that fire that he just said right there, that shit, that ish is real. All right. They know at the end of the day, the tribes are rising up, bro. And they know. They know. And this spark, especially if that's a country that always famously known for their independence, taking their independence into their own hand and giving freedom to others. And this thing is happening. The Lord is stirring up the pot, man. The world is coming in. How is it that's the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere? The first country to get its own freedom, took its freedom by force. Because Esau cannot stand, he can't stand them. All right? He can't stand them. Matter of fact, Micah 2:1, it says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity," which is what? Sin on top of sin. Woe means death and destruction. All right? It says, "And work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it." So all these different policies and these different tough sanctions they pass onto countries, knowing that it's not the whoever they put the sanctions on, is the people that suffer. This is part of the plan. All right, this is part of these devils' plan. This is part of this new world order. The IMF, the WEF, all right, World Economic Fund, all right, the UN, all these different alphabet organizations has toppled governments that's supposed to be under the umbrella of democracy. Imagine that. The thing that they say the most is what's poisoning all these fucking nations. It says, because it is in the power of their hand, talking about the elites. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and they take them away, And that's part of the plan. That's why this guy called Schwab said what? That's another thing too. That's well. Let me say what his quote that he always bring out. He said, "You shall own nothing and love it." And one of the main things about these independent countries like Haiti is you can own your land. All right, you can own land. You can buy land, own it forever, and run it down to run it to your inheritance, your lineage, the ones after you. And no matter how long they off the land, that land is still theirs. And this is part of the things that this people want to do. All right, what's happening is going to be a worldwide event. It says, so they oppress a man, and if knowing the history of that island, the small little history I know, and knowing that to be a man in that island, you have to suffer dearly. There's no jobs for you, but it's jobs for your women. So you as a man, a provider, you can't even provide for your own. That's heart-wrenching. That's fucking heart-wrenching. Unless you're part of the government. No, that's heart-wrenching. So they oppress a man in his own land. All right. It said in his house, even a man in his heritage. And this is exactly what they have done throughout the whole four corners of the earth. So they come in to collect, they come in to take everything from people, resources and all that. Matter of fact, what was the other scripture that came in mind? Proverbs, what? Slakia. Remove that landmark. Let me see. Well, there you go. A couple of them. Proverbs. I'm gonna do the one of Proverbs. So, it's Job. Now, Deuteronomy 27. It says Deuteronomy 27:17. Cursed be he that removeth his neighbor's landmark, and all the people shall say Amen. Job 24:2. Some remove the landmarks; they violently take away the flocks, and feed thereof. Proverbs 22:28. Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set. Proverbs 23:10. Remove not the old landmark, and enter not into the fields of the fatherless. So this devil, he's taking people's stuff, man. He's coming to take people's stuff, and I'm gonna let this thing rock on because he's gonna show a video clip of how the Levites were the Haitian people, and they ain't stupid. They're not accepting this with open arms. All right, they're not accepting this. And they know, man. They know. It's one thing to think you can fool somebody, but when people know, people in poverty ain't stupid. I hate these.
Many of you don't know about these $35 earbuds, but they are amazing. They're $35, but they have all the...
So despite the appearance of normalcy here in Port-au-Prince, there are vehicles returning to the streets and fuel flowing out of the...
A place of freedom. And he just had the guy on the Saline said that for them to never go back to slavery. So that's that rebellious spirit that Esau does not like. So he's going down there to try to smother that fire. All right. Hey, believe it or not, man. Now all Israel is a threat unto Esau. He like to front like they're not, but he knows when they spirit are roused up and they start really thinking, they could fuck you. They could fuck you up, and they know that, and they know the first ones to do it. And they trying to quench that fire as much as they can, but all they do is adding wood to the fire. They're going full blown invasion, man.
Dessalines t'es toujours dit pour nous goumer jusqu'à dernier goutte sans nous pour nous pas jamais retourner dans l'esclavage.
So despite the appearance of normalcy here in Port-au-Prince,
it's a struggle to the last drop. You're gonna fight to the last drop, yo.
there are vehicles returning to the streets and fuel flowing out of the Varua terminal. The U.S.-backed government of Ariel Henry has so far not responded to the protest and removed the price hikes that he imposed on behalf of the United States and the IMF. So what
the world knows this. It's crazy. Like, this is what the price hikes that the U.S. is doing, knowing that they're poor. This man's a fucking dude. This place gotta go, man, and it will go. It will go. Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. Okay? They purposely hiking the prices down there, knowing that the people cannot afford it. All right? It's because it's not benefiting the poor people of anything that's going on down there. It just benefits the rich. So what did it? Going back to what I read, they trying to remove the ancient landmark. They trying to take the resources. Okay.
remains to be seen is whether this uprising will continue, whether Ariel Henry will keep these price hikes in place, and now that the pretext for a U.S. invasion, the blockade on the Varua fuel terminal, has been removed, has been taken away. We'll see how Washington responds, if it maintains its kind of bellicose rhetoric and stance towards Jimmy Cherizier, or if things calm down. So here in Port-au-Prince, I'm Dan Cohen for Redacted.
Thanks, Dan. And some amazing reporting down there over the past few hours, and of course, with the violence and the bloodshed and the casualties, just goes to show you that the United States and Canada right now, it looks like they will stop at nothing to get that fuel flowing again for their puppet government. We should also point out that, you know, Dan caught up with the people, right, on the streets of Port-au-Prince, and asking the people, like, what do you think about the coming invasion of the United States? What do you think about the U.S. involvement in Haiti? And here's what the people of Port-au-Prince, what the people of Haiti had to say about it. Watch.
Mais je nous même en tant que jeunes, nous dit non avec l'occupation américaine.
Blanc, pas gain droit, puis les sols là. Là, ils viennent là, nous, ils viennent exploiter toute richesse nous. Par exemple, l'eau nous, l'uranium nous, pétrole nous, bauxite nous, qui ont été ministres, qui ont été minières, qui ont été.
The Haitian people know exactly what they got. And they know that they're not getting nothing out of it. They know the U.S., Canada, all the UN is coming to rape their country. This is, hey man, this is a beautiful thing. The Lord knows how to stir things up. And you know, you have the other tribes are looking at it like, oh, this is just another thing. Nah, it's happening to all the tribes. All the lands that you occupy, this devil's coming down on you. All right? He's taking over. Your puppet governments are sold out, destroying you consistently. Enough is enough. But
En Égypte, ils fait nabi. Après ça, ils ont détruit la production nationale là. Ils ont quitté maladie.
Américain, ça le porte dans le pays noir. Américain, là, qui est plus de monde sans papa.
yep, he said, there you go. He said it right there. Hold on.
Qui ont terminé en Égypte, ils fait nabi. Après ça, ils ont détruit la production nationale là. Ils ont quitté maladie.
Américain, ça le porte dans le pays noir. Américain, là, qui est plus de monde.
Every time America comes into the country, they leave more fatherless children. So, what happens to the men? They get killed. And they even said, like, look, all these diseases, they the ones that's bringing it. So the world is having, man, the great uproar is an all-time high. All right?
Sans papa.
Maman américain a dit que choléra, c'est eux-mêmes qui portent choléra pour nous, on va faire on va saleté.
Ça fait 3 3 fois. 3 occupations nous prend, le pays n'a pas jamais offert rien.
Yo entre dans le pays, yo touye Jovenel.
Si Américain pas compris dans le complexe assassinat Jovenel Moïse, il faut Américain est entré en Haïti pour arrêter les gens qui ont été criminels.
L'Occident même, c'est un malheur pour Haïti. Ça même. Et projet bourgeois prostitué qui tire l'État. Je veux dire là, nous pas.
Il faut Américain est entré en Haïti pour arrêter les gens qui ont été criminels.
L'Occident même, c'est un malheur pour Haïti. Ça même.
The West is a curse in Haiti. That's what he said. He said, let me make sure.
Si Américain pas compris dans le complexe assassinat Jovenel Moïse, il faut Américain est entré en Haïti pour arrêter les gens qui ont été criminels.
L'Occident même.
The West is a curse for Haiti, and here's why. And that's it. I mean, you could watch the rest, but that's the fact. They're all stating factual things. I'll be around. Well, when I do be around them, they always known. Ever since I was a kid, my grandparents always hear what's going on down there, and they could never get themselves out of that fucking thing. And it's always about politics, like all these other countries. But some odd reason could never get it right. Yeah, Mosai did curse Haiti. He did jack them up, but then it's the same curses that's all part of all Israel. Esau has a special heart on when it comes to Levi, man. He can't stand them. So, hey, we're going back to this. It says Micah 2:2. It says, and they covered fields. Covered meaning what? They want. All right. Fields represent the world, but lands. So and take them by violence. So they can't do how they did in the past. So they did it strategically. But now like the scripture says, Revelation 12:12, they're coming down with violence. James the 5th chapter tells you, as in the day of slaughter, like Isaiah the 10th chapter tells you. This is how this man, he said the world, matter of fact, let me get that real quick. I wanted to quote, but 10 and 6? No. Isaiah 10, I went to the point. 10 and 12. Wherefore it shall come to pass when the Lord have performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and on Jerusalem. And that's the work is what? All these curses that's upon Israel. Lord had constantly been destroying his people. Constantly. All right? Beating us down, destroying us. That's the Lord's work. Okay? The destruction of his own people. He says, I will punish the fruit of the stout heart of the king of Assyria, and the glory of his high looks, which the king of Assyria is representing Esau Edom. All right? Because in the Assyrians didn't take down Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and all the 12 tribes at one time. All right, the Assyrians took down the northern tribe, and then the Babylonians, which were the Assyrians, they took them down, but it was never together. All right, first was the northern tribe. Let me say the northern tribe, the northern kingdom. I always say the northern kingdom, and then the southern kingdom down the line. And all this things that's happening, Esau has been proud. All right, he said, for he hath said, by the strength of my hand have I done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent. I have removed the bounds of the people and have robbed their treasures. I have put down the inhabitants like a violent man. And this, how did he invaded all these countries and he took them down. That's why you have certain everything that's in the Caribbean islands, the architecture and so forth. When these devils came from 1492, they ransacked the world. All right, they destroyed everything in their path, and they act like they did it by great means of doing it. Like they were mighty, they were wiser. Okay, it says, "And my hand have found as a nest the riches of the people." It's talking about what? Their gold. The main thing, one of the main things that Christopher Columbus, when he went to that island, he had the Taínos search for gold, and if they didn't bring enough gold, he would cut a limb off. So they didn't come for religious freedom. All right, they came to rob the people. It says, and rob their treasures. I have put down the inhabitants like a violent man. My hand I found as a nest the treasures of the people, as one gathereth eggs that are left. I have gathered all the earth. There was none that moved the wing, or opened the mouth, or peeped. So he's saying basically he was not met with resistance, knowing that he always fought, but he always came on top. Because, hey, that was the Lord blessing him. But he fails to understand, right? So the next verse. Should the axe boast itself against him that hewed it therewith? Or should a sword magnify itself against him that shaketh it? As if the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up, or as if the staff should lift up itself as it were no wood. So without the person, the tool is no good. So without the Lord doing what he did, you could never took down the children of Israel. Never. Not by a long shot. So they're trying to repeat the same formula right now. This is them getting their last go around. This is them getting their last slaughter. They going out there raping, robbing the world. It says, therefore shall the Lord of hosts send one among his fat ones lenience, and under his glory he shall kindle a burning like burning of fire. The light of Israel shall be for a fire, and his Holy One for a flame. It shall burn and devour his thorns and his briars in one day. Talking about the destruction of America. All right? In 1 hour. And it shall consume the glory of his forest and of the fruitful field, both soul and body. There shall be as then a standard bearer fadeth. The rest of the trees of the forest shall be few, that a child may write them. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, talking about the elect of Israel, all right, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them. So this is your last chance. You're gonna bring nothing but pure pain unto all Israel, and you seeking to destroy the elect, but the Lord is gonna protect the elect. All right, the Lord is gonna protect his elect. He's gonna allow you to do what you're gonna do unto 2/3 of his people, which is a greater number, but not his chosen one. A few brothers may transition, but that's about it. All right. It says, but shall stay upon the Holy One of Israel in truth, and the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return, and the consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness. For the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, power of hosts, shall come shall make a consumption even determined in the midst of all the land. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, O my people that dwelleth in Zion, be not afraid of the Assyrians. He shall smite thee with the rod, and shall lift up his staff against thee, after the manner of Egypt. For yet a very little while, and the indignation shall cease, and mine anger, and their destruction. So, hey, like Apostle Paul always said, get your shit on now, Esau. Do what you have to do now, because this is your last chance. Because the Lord's anger, his indignation, his righteous anger is about to be upon you. All right? It says, and the Lord of hosts shall stir up a scourge from him according to the slaughter of the Midian and the rock of Moab. And as his rod is upon the sea, so shall he lift it up after the manner of Egypt. And the same way the Lord destroyed Egypt is the same way he's going to magnify the destruction of America. So with that, I hope you brothers edify. Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. Shalom.